Crew members, new members, welcome back to the headquarters of Mr. Trek. I hope you've all had a great holiday and I wish you all the best for this new year. Now, remember these? The FASA blueprints. I've made a 1/25th scale blueprint of Deck 11 phaser control on the wall behind me. Well, these blueprints, these are 28 years old, 1997 I think I got these. A friend of mine drove me from Manchester in the UK down to Sheffield, which is about an hour and a half's drive, when I found out that they had these in stock in a shop called Dungeons and Starships. It was just this tiny little shop in the middle of Sheffield, sci-fi comic book shop. And I went down there and I got there early. And I was so excited to get these, to see the inside of the Starship Enterprise, that I was there for like half an hour early. I think the shop opened at 9 o'clock and I was there for like 8:30 and the owner turned up with his keys and let me in. And anyway, and when I got these, and you know, I've heard this feedback from many people as well in the comments section on this channel, that when we got these, the first thing we did when we got back home was like open them up and then go on a tour, go on like a magical fantasy tour of the entire ship. And I remember just going around all the corridors, and I was fascinated by the fact that the tables that are drawn in the recreation areas on these blueprints have even got knives, forks and plates on the table. So, back to this project. If you've been following the channel, you know that I'm only very loosely following these plans, the FASA plans and the Franz Josef plans. Most of what we did not see on the show, I'm making it up from my imagination and staying in line with the feel and the design of the original Enterprise. This here is the 1/100th scale model of Deck 11. This is the 1/25th scale blueprint layout of Deck 11, and what you see here is the beginning of the build. And in a moment I'm going to show you this blueprint come to life in 3D, and it's not animated 3D. These are physical models. It's all physical models that I'm doing here. So I'm going to show you that, but I just want to show you the difference between this 1/100th scale model compared to the 1/25th layout, and there it is. And this area here where it's coming out are these areas going off, and this little area in the middle is this. So look at the difference. Wow. Anyway, it wasn't actually that easy to make. It took quite a while. So between Christmas and New Year, I was busy building it. And this next 2 minutes just shows you very quickly the process of this build. Hope you enjoyed that short clip. And so now, where does it go from here? Let me show you. Just take our Kirk, Spock and Yeoman Rand figure off here and remove the 1/100th scale. So, this here is now part of the finished build, which will be part of the display. So this is not a test model. So the base of this is on 3mm MDF, and then I'm using high quality modelling boards to construct the interiors. So I'm going to, again using MDF, this is what this middle part will sit on, so it's a very stable model. So I cut these two pieces out here, and then I've sprayed it a nice blue. I like the idea of blue. Of course this is going to be filled with lots of detail, phaser control, photon torpedoes, all that kind of thing. And then this will be placed in the middle. And as you just saw in the video showing the construction of this, the rest of the build will appear. And I'm going to show that in next Sunday's video. So a lot of work between now and next week, but I want to show this finished piece here, this finished 1/125th scale display model. We're now into the 3rd year of the 5-year mission, so there have been I can't believe 2 years have just passed like that. So the previous 2 years, there's been a lot of exploration, a lot of test models, cardboard test models that were built, and we are now in the 3rd year, so this is it. I have a good feel for the build. I have a good feel for the insane magnitude of the project that lies ahead, because this here is, I think, the 2nd smallest deck on the ship. I think the bridge is the smallest deck on the ship. So this is the very bottom of the saucer section, and look at the size of it. Okay, so the outside edge of this, where you can see this framework, that is the floor of deck 10. Okay, so it's just, deck 7 is just going to be absolutely insane, but I'm loving every minute of it. If you're enjoying the content and you want to support me in this mad project, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That really gives the Enterprise a push into deep space. It really does, and I really appreciate every single one of you supporting this channel. When I posted the video detailing the build of this 1/100th scale Deck 11, and a big debate arose in the comments section, because I depicted the photon torpedoes as pulses of energy. Okay, and this is the one thing that is actually a little bit of a challenge about building this, is there are two very specific camps in the Star Trek community. Some, like, just taking the photon torpedoes as an example, and canon is always there. So there are the canon people, the non-canon people, and the debate just rages. It really does. Most of the time it's pleasant, and sometimes it kind of goes down a different road. I depicted the photon torpedoes as energy weapons, pulses of energy weapons, and he quickly came in saying, no, the photon torpedoes are not energy weapons, they are in caskets, which was clearly shown in Star Trek The Search for Spock and Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, where they slowly took all this grating up and loaded a torpedo in with Spock's body in it and that kind of thing. And then other people came in saying, no, if you watch the original series, and every time you see the Enterprise firing its photon torpedoes, it's obviously like a pulse of light coming out from under the saucer, just under this area here. So I think that's kind of an unwinnable debate. People will either think this or they will think that. So what I'm going to do in this design is I'm going to do the impossible. And that is to satisfy everybody. Because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to solidify whether, again, taking the photon torpedo as an example, I'm not going to solidify it as an energy weapon or a casket. I'm going to make the design of where the photon torpedoes are stored, or whether the machinery for the generation of the energy pulse is, and I'm going to leave it fairly open and non-specific, so it's up to the viewer. Okay, so if you're a casket person, boom, good to go. If you're an energy photon light thing torpedo person, good to go. And we're going to do that, okay? Because for me, you know, I'm wanting to build the interior of that fantastic ship that we all fell in love with, especially the older guys like me. You know, I'm 60 now, and I was 6 years old when I first saw the Enterprise and Star Trek, and to me, the original series, the original ship, is Star Trek. I know there's a lot that's come after that, but my personal relationship to it is original series all the way. So I'm really passionate about building the interior of the ship. The areas that we saw on the show, as you know, I've said this before, I'm staying really faithful to that. 99% faithful to that. The areas that we didn't see, I'm making it up. But hopefully with a logical approach to that imagining, and also staying totally faithful to the look and the feel and the vibe of the original ship. So that's where we're at. All this business about, oh, you know, how does the water circulate around the ship, and what about the nacelles? Where's the warp core? There is no warp core on the original ship. Simple as that. Alright? So I'm not getting into that. You know, loosely I'm going to suggest, you know, maybe this is where the water system is distributed, but I'm not building all of that. I'm building the interior details, the corridors, the quarters, all that kind of thing. And all the rest is going to be left up to exactly what this whole thing is. Fantasy and imagination. And fun. Okay? This is fun. Pure fun. And I feel like the luckiest guy in the world, actually. My full-time job is building the Starship Enterprise. I mean, how cool is that? I want to know somebody else in the comment section. I want you to tell me this now, and I want you to be truthful with me about it. If I'm a hobbyist, and I'm doing this just as a hobby, and going into all this detail and that kind of thing, that's a geek, right? I'm a geek. And I'm okay being a geek. I quite like being a geek. I think being a geek is pretty cool. But if I'm doing this as a full-time job and it's turning into a big project, do I still qualify as a geek? Let me know what you think. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, one final thing, and it could be the most important thing, is, as always, thank you so much to the patrons supporting this channel, this mission. Seriously, I could not do this without you, so great respect and great thanks. Please do consider becoming a patron. It's not expensive, and if you sign up to level 2, you get your own quarters on board the 1/25th scale version of this ship. Rambled on a little bit in this video, but I just felt as though there was a few important things to say. This model will be fully lighted, by the way, and I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. I've got these, let me show you. I've got these little things that were on sale for Christmas, you know, little Christmas lights, but they are absolutely 100% awesome. Thin strips of LEDs, awesome for feeding in tiny small places around the model. And here we go. Ooh, check that out. It's just so awesome. So these can be fed in small channels, as you can see here, and then this will be covered by panels. So all of the lighting in this model and also in the ship will be diffused lighting. There is not going to be any harsh lighting on the floor like we see in some of the newer versions of Star Trek, and like, you know, bright panels on the corridor walls, and like you're walking down the corridor. I actually stopped going to a course once. I was doing a language course, and it was held at 8:30 in the morning. Okay, going in. Still, I'm not a morning person anyway, so I'm going in, learning a new language, and you walk into this bright room with those overhead strip lights, and it's like, I actually stopped going. I just couldn't stand it anymore. So I think the lighting is so important. Diffused lighting, giving a nice, you know, open feel, but without being in your face. Like all this modern stuff, there's just like strip lights all over the place, and even strip lights under the stairs leading down to the, you know, not on this ship, not on board this ship. All diffused lighting, all epic. I'll see you next Sunday with the finished version of this, which I'm so excited to show you. It's going to be so stale. I'm going to go outside like I did with the 1/25th scale structure of the saucer section, and I'm going to show you this full build, the full glory of the 1/25th scale Deck 11 phaser fire control room. As always, I hope the video finds you well, and have a wonderful day, evening or morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon next Sunday. Bye for now.